everybody, it's Josie here. I'm going to be doing a TBR video today. So I'm taking part in my second lovely readathon for the month of January, and this is the winter biannual Bibliathon readathon. I haven't taken part in this one before, but I had a look at the challenges and I thought they looked really interesting, and also a few of the books I already had on my TBR for this month will suit some of the challenges, so I'm not totally killing myself in the process, but I do have a ambitious pile of books, so I'll tell you about them and I'll also tell you which challenges these books meet. So the first one is this book over here. It's called Beautiful Animals, and this was on my TBR anyway. And this is for the challenge of reading an adult genre book. So this one sounds interesting, and I thought for the kind of grey weather of the January in Britain, this would be a nice little escape because it's set on a Greek island, and it's about two women, and they kind of come into each other's lives and they find a man washed up on the beach on this Greek island, and then the kind of decisions they take and the consequences of those decisions. So it sounds really intriguing. It sounds like a bit of a thriller come friendship mystery type of thing, and I love any books that kind of have female friendship, explores that. It also sounds a bit dark, which I love. And then the setting seemed like it was going to be something quite nice to take my mind off the horrible weather. So that's the first one here. Then the second one is this book over here. So again, this was the other one that was actually on my TBR, and this is The 13th Tale by Diane Setterfield, and this is for the category to read an author that's new to you, you haven't read before. This book has been on my TBR for ages. It has also been recommended to me over and over again by people saying that, you know, you'll love this book. And I think I will. It sounds right up my alley. So the premise is you have an aging writer called Vida Winter, and she has engaged a younger woman who is a biographer, an amateur biographer, to write her biography. But Vida's always, throughout her career, kind of given false information about who she is. So you've got that element of actually who is she, and is she going to tell the truth to this biographer? And then there also seems to be a bit of a sort of mystery element to this one, where there's this collection of stories of hers, of Vida's, and it's called the 13 Tales, and there's only 12 stories in this collection. So you've got a bit of a mystery element, I think, woven into this one, but it sounds right up my alley. It reminds me of Evelyn Hugo, where, again, you've got one woman telling her life story to another, which I love that premise, so I'm really looking forward to this. I think this is the first book I'm actually going to start reading for the readathon, because I'm dying to get to this one this month. Then the next book I've got here is you have to pick one of the books that one of the hosts has picked. So the one that I've gone with is this one here, Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor. Now this book, I don't think I have to necessarily go through the premise, because I think on BookTube this book has been spoken about, has been hyped, has been loved. I am a little apprehensive. I bought it because I wanted to see what the hype was about, if I'm totally honest. I have read one Laini Taylor book in the past. It was Daughter of Smoke and Bone, which I did enjoy, but to be fair, I did read it many years ago, and I didn't actually continue with that series. So that kind of makes me think, did I like it but didn't like it enough to continue? How's that going to bode? I do remember liking the writing, thinking that it was beautifully written, which I believe this is as well. So we'll see how this goes. It's a big old book as well. So one of my goals is to read bigger books and to read a big book a month, over 500 pages. This is over 500 pages, so that actually meets the goal for the month, although I think I've already, no, have I read a big one? I don't know, but this will definitely suit that challenge. I don't know if I'm going to finish the whole book in the readathon, to be fair, and I'm also not entirely sure whether I'm going to DNF this or not, but we'll see. I'm hoping it will be good, but yeah, there's that one. Then the next one I've got is, the next challenge is to read a book that first got you into reading, and for that I've picked my perennial favourite, and I've gone on about Nancy Drew, I think, a lot over the last few weeks and months, but I adore Nancy Drew. These were some of the first books that I read when I was a teenager. I loved them. And this is sort of a nice nostalgic read. So I'm glad that the readathon has actually given me a chance to read this again. This is a short one, so I'll definitely get through this. Then the next one is to read a book that has an ugly cover, a cover you don't like. And I've picked this one here. It's Bruised Fruit. Now, this just sounds like a crazy novel. So it's supposed to be quite funny, set in Britain, and it's about it's a lesbian fiction novel, and you've got lesbian characters. I think you've got bisexual character, you've got a hermaphrodite character in this. So there's loads of representation. I think it talks about, like, kind of, it's supposed to be quite funny. It interweaves their stories and their lives. So this sounds like it's going to be quite a wickedly fun ride. And the reason I picked this is because, I mean, the cover is, I wouldn't necessarily say it's ugly, but honestly, if I saw this on a bookshelf, I wouldn't pick it up, and I definitely wouldn't associate it with lesfic. It just feels, yeah, I don't know. I just don't like the cover. But the premise of the book sounds really, really cool, so I'm really looking forward to getting to that one. And then the last category, and this I thought was quite an interesting challenge. So the last challenge is to read a book in your least favorite genre, to read a book in your least favorite genre and your favorite format, or the other way around. So to read a book in your favorite genre, but your least favorite format. So for this, I've picked this book over here, Love Alters, and this one's edited by Emma Donoghue. Now, this is my favorite genre. This is lesbian fiction, but it is a collection of short stories, which I don't hate short stories, but I quite often find that I don't get on with them. So there's not many short story collections, in fact I can't really think of any right now, that I really like. So the format of a short story is not necessarily what I go for, but because it's lesfic, you know, I'm gonna read it. I'm not sure if I'm gonna get through all the stories because there's loads in here, so I'll at least get through 2 or 3 of them for the readathon, but I thought this kind of met that challenge beautifully. So anyway, so those are my books that I'm going to read, starting soon on that one. I think it's the 12th to the 17th. I would love to know what you're reading. I'd love to know if you've read any of those books. Tell me what you think about Strange the Dreamer. Yeah, so anyway, have a great weekend. Enjoy the readathon, and I will speak to you all soon. Bye-bye.